Hello everyone, my name is Oksana and on this channel we are learning to be better moms and better dads. Today we are going to talk, in my opinion, about one of the most interesting aspects in positive discipline, which is how to create our children without using punishments. Let me tell you why it is important for our children to be raised without punishments. Well, first of all, what is a punishment? Punishment is interruption on a personal will and violation of private logic of our children. Okay, when we violate something, which in this case is private logic, we hurt our children, we put obstacles to their development. Let's remember what is discipline. The meaning of discipline from Latin is being able to behave, being able to do what's correct, based and motivated by your inner rules. But we don't need outer factors to listen or to do what's correct. Let me give you an example. For example, there is a child who's crying and his mom is locking him in a room, telling him, okay, when you stop, you can come out. What do you think the child can learn from this kind of behaving from their parents? The children can get, well, this particular child can get scared. So do you think fear is an inner rule? Can you consider the fear as an intrinsic motivation? No. Let's see. If this mom sees that this child is crying, basically the children are crying, asking for the attention, right? And when this mom tells him, that's okay to tell him, you know what, crying is not good, I don't like it, and I'm gonna give you some time. When you stop, we can talk. But we don't need to lock the kids away. I know sometimes parents, it is difficult to stand there and just listen and see your child cry. But it's necessary. As parents, we do have to sacrifice ourselves for the best of our children. Okay, now the punishments, they do work, as some of you can tell me. For example, well, I was beaten up, I was put on timeout, I was scared, or I was screamed at, and look at me, I'm so educated and a very successful person. Children, I'm talking to children inside of you right now. Well, remember, dear moms and dads, when you were little, remember your feelings when you were put on this timeout, when you were screamed at. How did you like it? Did you learn anything positive? For example, if your mom put you on timeout because you were not listening to what she was saying, or you didn't behave and you did the opposite of what she was asking, while you were sitting on this timeout, did you learn that you are going to do what your mom says just because it feels right? Or did you learn that you are going to do what your mom says because you don't want to be put on a timeout again? So, like I said before, positive discipline develops this inner motivation in children, and it doesn't support at all the outer factors of education. For example, in this case, the timeout is going to be a factor from the outside of our conscience. And those kind of regulations are not considered as self-regulations, and means they do not work. Any type of regulations that do not come from our conscience, they cannot be considered as a true meaning as discipline. Okay. Now, the punishments produce 4 concrete consequences in our children. Today I want to talk to you about each one of them, and while I'm presenting all this to your parents, you please think which one of these characteristics you would like, or I hope you would not like, to develop in your children. And please keep in mind that those are produced by punishment. And one more suggestion, dear parents, While I'm presenting all this, remember yourself when you were children, and probably you will find one of these consequences living inside of you during your childhood, the ones that you associate to one or another decisions of your parents. So let's see. The consequence number 1 is resentment. Let's see what it means. What can the child think in this case? Our child, while sitting in a timeout, can think this is unfair, I cannot trust adults. Any of you parents would like your children to think that? Number 2, consequence number 2, revenge. Revenge produces in our kids the following decision. They are winning now, but I will get even. So the children, they might submit to your instruction, they might submit to your punishment, but what is exactly that they're feeling? What is exactly that they're thinking, dear parents? They're definitely not thinking they're not going to do it anymore. Okay, this is one of our favorites. Number 3, rebellion. Any one of you parents want to produce rebellion in your children? And it's proven that parents often produce the rebellion in their kids and then they punish them for this rebellion. So isn't that kind of not very intelligent parent from our side as adults? So that's what children can be thinking when they feel rebellion. Let me read it. I will do the opposite just to prove I do not have to do it your way. Anyone parents up to this one? And the consequence number 4 is retreat. In my personal opinion, dear parents, I think that this one is the most dangerous. For example, we can see it over here, right? We talked about it. So all these punishment consequences, they as well produced by private logic, by the beliefs that the children form while they're being punished and in total while they're being raised. So retreat. Retreat can be expressed in 2 ways. It can be sneakiness and it can be reduced self-esteem. What do I mean by sneakiness? I will not get caught next time. So what does it say? I will do it one more time. I don't care that my parents don't like it. I don't care that they punish me. All I have to do is just find a way so they don't catch me next time. Does it sound like the child is actually going to behave and learn something correct? And the reduced self-esteem, like I showed you, that's probably going to be this one, and that is the worst. Because the child thinks I am a bad person. Right here. Dear parents, when the child thinks that he or she is the bad person, that they don't matter, that they can't, that they are not capable of doing something, can this child grow up and turn into a successful adult? I don't think so. So let's repeat real quick the consequences of the punishment. There are 4, and I want to ask you parents, just sit down, close your eyes, and remember one particular moment when you were little and you were punished, and pick one. What did you feel? I want to make an accent on, I want to clear up. One of those consequences, or all of them, or one time another, can be felt by kids depending on their character, depending on what character you guys, parents, help them form before time. So, number 1, retreat. Remember, it can be 2 kinds: sneakiness and reduced self-esteem. Number 2, rebellion. When you punish the child and it gives you more, he or she gives you more misbehaving. So you just know that it's like a vicious cycle. You punish, more misbehavior. It's very close to the iceberg video, right? Next one, revenge. Dear parents, would you really like punish your kids, realizing that you're teaching them this? And resentment. That's kind of dangerous one, because if your child will form something against you, okay, the child is little, can express it, but what if this something that you produce by punishment goes into subconscious level, and when this child grow up, he remembers it. It affects his life, and then when he realizes what affects his life, look what we have to deal with. So dear parents, I invite you, I ask you, please reconsider. If you're still using punishment, they are very, very unpleasant coming to us and to our children when they grow up. Hi again. I got a feeling that this video needs a postscriptum. Well, if we are being taught not use punishments, which is right here, and then we go and we think, okay, if I don't use punishment, I'm going to be spoiling my kids because I have to let them do everything they want to do. No, parents. Positive discipline is right here in the middle. Punishments, spoiling. So in my next video, in one of my next videos, I will show you how to find this golden middle and how to apply it to the educational process of your children. Love you. Bye bye. See you next. I will expect your comments under this video. Ciao.